Social exchange theory. The genesis of social exchange theory goes back to 1958, when American sociologist George Homans published an article entitled Social Behavior as Exchange. Homans defined social exchange as the exchange of activity, tangible or intangible, and more or less rewarding or costing between at least two persons. After Homans founded the theory, other theorists continued to write about it. Particularly Peter M. Blau and Richard M. Emerson, who in addition to Homans are generally thought of as the major developers of the exchange perspective within sociology. Social exchange theory is a concept based on the notion that a relationship between two people is created through a process of cost-benefit analysis. General assumptions of social exchange theory: if people define situations as real, they will be real in their consequences. Social facts do not have any inherent meaning other than that which humans attribute to them. Elements of social exchange theory. Rewards minus costs equals to perceived profit. We are all in relationships for profit. We leave relationships when we no longer perceive them as profitable or when the costs of staying outweigh the rewards. Self-interest and seek fair outcomes, distributive justice, and equity alter own behavior or seek to alter others' behavior to achieve desired outcomes. Exchange of resources via transactions. The rewards are things that you get out of the relationship, such as fun, friendship, companionship, and social support. Your friend might be a bit of a freeloader, but bring a lot of fun and excitement to your life. As you are determining the value of the friendship, you might decide that the benefits outweigh the potential costs. Costs involve things that you see as negative, such as having to put money, time, and effort into a relationship. For example, if you have a friend that always has to borrow money from you, then this would be seen as a high cost. Perceived profit is what individuals perceive they are profiting by being in the relationship. It can be different and unique for each person and can be extremely high or close to no profit as long as both parties view the relationship as profitable. The relationship. Social exchange theory suggests that we essentially take the benefits and subtract the costs in order to determine how much a relationship is worth. Positive relationships are those in which the benefits outweigh the costs, while negative relationships occur when the costs are greater than the benefits. Core principles of social exchange theory. Principle of reward. The more often a particular action of a person is rewarded, the more likely the person is to perform that action. Principle of experience. If an individual's action has been rewarded in the past, then the individual will enact the same action in circumstances similar to the one in which the previous action was rewarded. Principle of value of outcome. The more a person values the result of an action, the more likely he or she is to perform that action. Principle of diminishing returns. The more often in the recent past a person has received a particular reward, the less valuable any further unit of that becomes. Principle of distributive justice. When an action does not produce an expected reward, or causes unexpected punishment, a person will feel cheated and is likely to engage in punitive actions. When an action produces an unexpected reward, or when it does not produce expected punishment, a person ingratiated or obligated will likely engage in approving behavior. Principle of rationality. In any decision situation, a person will choose that action for which, as perceived by him/her at the time, the value of the result multiplied by the probability of getting the result is the greatest. Principle of least interest. The person who has the least interest in continuing the relationship is able to control the relationship and exploit the other partner. Relational implications. All other things being equal, the greater an individual's satisfaction with his or her current relationship, the less likely she or he is to leave the relationship. Regardless of the degree of relational satisfaction, an individual will choose to remain in a relationship if the perceived outcome of the current relationship exceeds the perceived outcomes of the alternative relationship. Achieving balance. Individuals will often endure what seems like extreme costs if they perceive future payoffs. Individuals seek to create ultimate exchanges in which both people feel they are profiting highly but experiencing little, if any, costs. Obligation can occur when exchanges are uneven and a sense of indebtedness is created. When couples struggle, it is seldom simply over who does what. Far more often, it is over the giving and receiving of gratitude. Comparison level. One's comparison level is the general standard for evaluating interaction outcomes. Anytime we perceive the outcome is above our comparison level, we are relatively happy or satisfied with the outcome. Anytime the perceived outcome is below our comparison level, we are relatively unhappy or dissatisfied with the outcome. Comparison level of alternatives. One's comparison level of alternatives is the best outcomes available outside of our current relationship or situation. As more attractive outside possibilities become available, and existing outcomes slide below our comparison level, instability and change increase. So why we leave, and why we find someone new. In relationships characterized by dissatisfaction, an individual will choose to leave a relationship and enter into a new relationship if the perceived outcomes of the current relationship is less than the perceived outcomes of the new relationship.